What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bolero. Sam here with Gab and Maui. And nakaitim si Maui today, tonight. Uh, Kita nyo naman siguro sa title ng episode na to. We're doing our instant reactions to that Ateneo versus FEU overtime game. FEU finally getting their first win against Ateneo by a single point. It ended up being by 1 point. And if you guys remember, last year, FEU won against Ateneo twice. So it's been three
Same
straight
thing.
wins.
Deja vu happened. The
Deja vu
same
ba?
thing happened. Last year, FEU was 0-5, won its first win,
Oo
won
nga,
its first
0-5
game
nga.
against
Di ba
Ateneo
Oh,
in
yeah.
overtime with the same score total of 66 points.
66 din yung score nila. Last year?
66-61 was the score last season when LJ Gonzalez went ham on Ateneo in overtime. Just for this game, si Joric Bautista, sinapian ng spiritu ni LJ Gonzalez.
Ni LJ Gonzalez.
And just did his best LJ Gonzalez impression and buried Ateneo. Joric Bautista. Deja vu. I don't know how else to describe it.
Let me add to that deja vu moment, Gab. Kasi remember, when Ateneo lost to that FEU team nung first round, they were coming off a big win against UP. This time, maybe it's not against UP, but they were coming off their first win. Ateneo came off their first win against a good team. Adamson is has 3 wins now. They're a good team and they won against Adamson, and then they're hoping to get momentum. Here comes FEU killing Ateneo's momentum again. I think never pa sila nanalo kay kay Denok Miranda and kay coach. Sino yung
Gabi
dating
Severino.
coach ng Ateneo? Gabi
Gabi
Severino.
Severino.
Oo nga, Coach Gabi talaga. He has Ateneo's number. Let's react to that crazy overtime game. The first overtime game of the season, by the way. So, Gab, nag-comment ka na. I wanna hear Maui's comment naman. Quick reactions
Ako-
ng Maui and then let's go to Gab.
Ako initial reaction ko not just to Ateneo's game but the whole weekend is umiinit na ang UAAP. Diba?
Oo,
we had,
grabe yung
we had a very in my opinion we had a very disappointing start to the UAAP season, diba? A lot of blowout games, a lot of very low scoring games. But the past 2 weekends have been a treat. Diba? Dami ng nagkaka-OT games na, nagkaka-game winners na, puro tight games. Even UP had to claw back from a huge deficit. Even LaSalle had to claw back from a huge deficit kanina against UST. But umiinit na ang UAAP. We're about to enter the end of the first round. As you guys mentioned, deja vu for Ateneo. Si Gab mentioned, even the score is the same. Tapos ngayon, another guard from FEU destroyed yung hopes ng Ateneo.
UAAP maybe stop scheduling FEU 6 game to be Ateneo. Please lang. Tama na. Ayoko na.
Grabe. It's deja vu. Joric Bautista got hot at the right time. Diba? This time around. I think that's what's been missing with FEU this season. If you've been following, I'm sure one of our main subscribers, si Jeffrey, has been following FEU.
Shout out to Jeffrey.
Yung mga hardcore fans ng FEU know this. It's been a very frustrating season, di ba? From the off-season, we said they should not start 0-5, but we're here. They're now 1-5, and they are starting their season again with their first win against Ateneo, di ba? Like last season. But Joric Bautista finally showed out. I think this is one of his best games of the season. I think even si John Ray Pasaol played one of his best games of the season. Coach Sean Chambers actually sa press conference niya was saying they're just playing basketball. We're a young team. It's frustrating to lose, but they're just playing basketball. Apparently, the practice of FEU has been getting very heated. Diba? They've been very intense. I think it's been showing the past few games, even their game against UP. But it's heartbreaking. I guess that it's heartbreaking. That's my initial reaction as an Atenean to lose again to FEU when we are about to, or when there's hope to turn the corner, to turn the page, diba? I think if Ateneo had won, this could have been a momentum-changing win for Ateneo, di ba? 1-3, and then they'd be 2-3 with the Final Four in sight. Now they're 1-4 at the bottom of the standings with FPU and NU. I think most of their games against not named LaSalle and UP are now must-win games whole way. If they are to get into the Final Four, diba? It's a very big hole that they've dug into. Even with FPU, I think one of our fans messaged me a while ago. Do I think FPU is a Final Four team? All three of us thought that FPU was a Final Four team during the preseason. But because they started 0-5, it's a very, very big hole to climb out of, diba? But this is a positive direction. This is a team where I think 8 or 9 players are rookies. So they finally got their first win. If you watch the press conference, I watched the press conference a while ago. You could see yung smile ni John Ray, yung smile ni VJ Pre. They finally get their maiden win, their first win in the UAE.
Yung sayaw ni John Ray. Hindi ko alam ano ang niya yun. Sumayaw pa siya.
Sumayaw siya?
After making one free throw, he danced. But eventually, he missed the second. But sumayaw pa siya. Tapos sinasabihan siya ni VJ sa Konate, "Woy, tama na muna. We haven't won yet."
Grabe yung press conference. If you guys watched it, they're happy. Diba? They don't know if they're gonna make the Final Four, but they're happy. Diba? It's the start. I think it's the start of their rebuilding process. They can finally now just play basketball. Wala na yung pressure. I think that's one of the main reasons. And maybe that's one of the main reasons why they've started also to play better basketball. Maybe the pressure of getting to the Final Four it's not as much as it was when it was the beginning of the season. Kasi a lot of people, not just us, all the pundits said that they are one of the favorites to make the Final Four. But for Ateneo, heartbreaking. Trust the process. We've been saying this naman since the preseason, diba? You can't expect much from a 0-7 team from the Phil Oil, diba? But I guess it's very heartbreaking because most of the games, maybe except the LaSalle game, I would say is si Gabi and I were talking about this off-air kanina, are winnable games, diba? The free throws, again, hampered the chances of Ateneo. Ateneo going on a cold streak with free throws also contributing to that. Not just field goals. Kasi we've seen Ateneo all season long, all preseason long, go on cold streaks. But now the free throws are just horrendous.
Yeah, they really shot themselves on the foot dun sa free throws. Gab, let's move on to your instant reactions.
So before I go to my painful reactions, I do want to give a shout out. I did promise a couple of subscribers from the game earlier. LaSalle fans,
Oy!
Sheldon and Lorray said hi to me. We took a picture together. Nice to meet you guys. We'll talk about LaSalle later. We'll touch on a bit. I know you guys were asking two things kung may episode today. Ito na yung episode, pero sorry. Ateneo FEU mas magandang game. So we have to talk about that. And bakit hindi ako nakasando nung sa game? Again, guys, bawal ako magsando. Kailangan collar shirt daw.
Specifically in-address yun kay Gab. Tiningnan si Gab. Gab, bawal magsando.
Baka naman
are out!
UAP. Diba? Ang dami ng fans sa UAP nagtatanong kay Gab kung ba't di siya nakasando. Baka naman.
UAP! Baka naman. Gab.
Yeah, so my reaction, well, that was my instant reaction. I said earlier, Joric just... Wow. I was having nightmares and dreams of flashbacks of LJ Gonzalez killing Ateneo. Joric, I think, had one field goal heading into overtime. I don't know.
Really?
I think he had
3.
One field goal.
He had 3 naman. He had 3. I think he was 4 or 5 nung overtime.
Or heading into the fourth. One of those was true. I think he was not hitting shots at all throughout the game. And suddenly, my goodness sake, he could not miss in the fourth quarter. In overtime. All of those shots were contested. None of them were wide
not
open.
Easy shots.
Puro followaways, di ba?
No. All of his shots in overtime were contested. Sean Kitebel was over him. Chris Kuhn was over him. Sean Toano was over him. he just could not miss. He was a machine in overtime, and gotta give it. I would just like to say, Sam, ikaw kasi yung malas eh. Bumalik yung malas mo eh. You called out Joric Bautista against Lasal.
I was gonna say, I called him out. He was horrendous against Lasal. 14% field goal percentage out of, took 21 shots. This time, he was hot. He was really hot. And I think, nasabi naman nung commentators din kanina, diba? Shooters shoot. Si Joric was so bad the last game. I was so frustrated with him. Tira pa rin siya ng tira nung last game, trying to get that win for FEU. And kudos to him because he didn't stop. He didn't stop taking that shot, trying to take over. And as he should. He deserves to. And
Nilabas
he
niya
won
yung
this game.
frustration, bro.
Yeah,
Diba,
he won this
tinuro pa
game
niya
for
yung
this
referee.
team. Oh,
Tinuro pa niya yung referee. Kala ko nga ano yun eh. Kala ko nga that would have been a pivotal moment for Ateneo to stop the run of FEU. But he got hot after that.
No, alam mo, sinabi ko to sa wife ko nung nanonood ako. When he made those two, I think it was like two technical free throws. Yung na-technical si Ong kay Konate, siya yung nag-free throw if I remember correctly. Basta, tapos, medyo maalat yung free throw niya hindi siya suabe, pero he hit those two free throws. After those two free throws, sabi ko, nako, parang nakuha na na-adjust na ni Joric yung ring, natansya na niya.
Hindi ba si Royce yun?
Hindi, may free throw si Joric. But I'm not sure kung yun yung kay Konate or whatever, but he made like two free throws and then sabi ko that's when he started getting hot, sabi ko. So, feel ko like natansya na niya natansya na niya yung ring na nasukat na niya basically. Go ahead, Gab.
So yun, that was basically the game in overtime. But in the first half, I was pleasantly surprised. Ateneo shot pretty well and busted the zone. FEU
with the
played
three-pointers
exclusively zone for the first two quarters. Exclusively. They did not go man-to-man at all in the first half. And kudos to Ateneo shooting. They made their threes. Chris Kuhn made threes. I think 3 threes. Kyle Gamber came off the bench and made 2 threes.
Yeah.
Could have been 3 if the other one just...
Linuwa no?
Oh, yung Linuwa Ian Espinosa made a 3. We had 8 threes in the
Josh
first half.
Lazaro made a 3.
Kahit si Balogun, tumitira na, bro. Ng 3.
We'll talk about Balogun later, pare. Pero, yun, that's how Ateneo got, I think, a 5-point lead heading into halftime because they were able to shoot the ball well. And kudos to Kyle Gamber. Did his role. I think Coach Tab knew that FEU was sticking to a zone, so he put in a zone buster in Kyle Gamber. And I was telling you guys, Kyle Gamber, he's not shy to shoot. He's going to put it up there, and he did. Zone buster. And you can see the difference when a guy like Kyle Gamber is on the floor. Once he starts hitting threes, the gravity, just the defense starts worrying about him, zoning in on him. And that opens up lanes for guys like Josh Lazaro to score in the paint, for Chris Kuhn to get an open 3. So, salute to you, yung Kyle Gamber. We'll talk about more in the second half, no? But that was a story in the first half. I thought FEU did well to keep it close, especially yung getting second chance points. That put back dunk by Mo Konate. Woo!
Grabe yun!
Bastos
Grabe yun.
Jam.
Yep. So they dominated the glass. Mo Konate, I think, had more than 10 rebounds already after the first half. He had 18 total. He leads the league in rebounding. Sabi ko sa inyong dalawa, watch out for Mo Konate. We were all Precious Momoway or Henry Agonari or Mo Tungkara. Mo Konate he's balling. We have something for in the midweek about Mo Konate, but just saying that Mo Konate is playing really well, and he played really well in this game, just rebounding the ball and protecting the rim. But in the second half, I think that I don't know if this was the game plan by Sean Chambers. Just go completely zone in the first half. Gulatin ng Ateneo with man-to-man in the second half. because that essentially disrupted the flow. I thought Ateneo did well, capitalizing on turnovers and hitting their shots. They extended the lead to 41-33 on a Jared Bahay layup. And that was it. Napako na yung Ateneo after that layup by Jared Bahay. That's when the 8 straight free throws missed really hurt them because they got stuck at 41. And it wasn't until a Balogun free throw got them out of that hole.
Ironically,
si Balogun pa yung nag-stop
the
ng run na
second
yun.
free throw, yeah.
And actually, FU was not playing spectacularly in that third quarter. Ateneo was getting a ton of stops. They just weren't hitting shots and weren't hitting free throws. The free throws once hurt because it's there. You attack the basket, you got shots, and for some reason, this team just can't adjust and hit their free throws. Very frustrating. Josh Lazaro missed 2. Sean Toanyo, after we praised him for a 6 of 8 performance in the last game, comes back and the free throws come back to haunt him. And that's it, man. It really hurt. But and in the fourth, kudos to Ateneo for fighting back in this game. It eventually came down to 3 Chris Porter 3-point shots, which were
That was crazy.
And I know a lot of people are dinging Chris Porter. Why do you keep on shooting that? Those were good shots. They came in the flow of the offense, pick and pop. He was wide open, took those threes. They just didn't go in.
tira
They
niya
were
yun.
good. Yeah, yung tira niya
Diba?
yun. He
As they
has
say
that shot.
in Filipino.
He has that shot. He can make them. He was wide open. I don't know what else you could ask for. That was a good shot. Those were good shots generated by the Ateneo offense. That's it. And in overtime, it started off well. Nakabawi si Chris Porter, you hitting a 3. But Jorek Bautista eventually happened. We scared them. Kudos to Coach Tab and Coach Sandy, noticing that Coach Sean Chambers entered the court. The refs initially did not call that. Coach Tab and Coach Sandy Respacochaga were pointing at him. Why was he on the court? Call a technical foul. And they eventually did call a technical foul. And free throws come back to haunt Ateneo. Jared Bahay missed 1 free throw that eventually could have tied this game because they eventually lost this game by 1. If Jared Bahay had made that, it would have been tied. And that was it. Clutch free throws from Mo Konate. And I already mentioned si John Ray. He made 1 free throw, danced, and then missed the second. John Ray, maybe hold off on that when you actually make the second.
Nanonood kasi si Kuya eh.
Kapag sure na. Di ba?
Yung kapag sure na.
Kapag sigurado na.
Sinasabihan nga siya ni Konate sa ni VJ Pre. Oh, chill out. Di pa tapos. But there is still 20 seconds left on the clock. So, yun man, as much as I don't want to say it, but Ateneo lost this game. They lost it. As you said, Sammy, they shot themselves in the foot. They shouldn't have been in that position in overtime in the first place if they had just made their free throws.
Free throws, correct.
Free throws,
Kasi di ba,
That was it.
in the game that went to overtime and they only lost by 1. They missed 13 free throws.
13 free
Yung
throws.
7 straight talaga eh,
43.5%.
yung malala.
There's a reason why it's called free throws. For Ateneo, it's not free throws.
It's pain throws. I don't know if you want to say it. It's pain throws because the whole crowd is in pain whenever
Bricks.
Ateneo goes to the free throw line.
Bricks.
And I don't know, man. Stop scheduling the 6th game of FEU to be Ateneo. I don't want to see it in the schedule next season again. It's just coming back to haunt Ateneo over and over. Gabi Severino is undefeated against his former team.
Coach Gabi.
Denok Miranda is undefeated against Ateneo.
The true
Just-
coach.
the, the program head slash backseat rider coach. I don't know how to call him anymore. But yeah, that was it. That was really painful. It's got to move on to Chris Porter and to Jared Bahay. I know this will that free throw missed by Jared Bahay essentially overshadowed what was I think one of his better games as
That's
a
true.
college player in the UAAP. I think he played well. Yes, he missed a shot. His percentages are you haven't been that good. I do. Maybe we'll talk about that in a future episode. But man, heads up to Jared Bahay and Chris Porter. This is their first years. They're gonna have to remember that and move on and work harder and play better. Don't mind all the guys who are saying you guys suck, you guys are bust and all that. The two of you guys played well in this game. Just sucks that you miss the crucial shots, the both of you. But take it and move on. That's all I have to say. And to Ateneo fans, we just move on. We have a game on Wednesday against UE and then Saturday against NU. Yeah, just gotta move on.
Growing pains, as they say, di ba, for both teams, di ba? FPU was able to withstand the growing pains ng very young team. Ateneo should be, di ba? We should be patient with this team, di ba? It's not like we're getting a bunch of veterans. These are all young players. Bahay is a rookie. Porter is a rookie. Porter has been better than advertised, di ba? Imagine being 6'3", 6'4", without shoes and going up against these FSAs every day. I
It's
think
crazy.
if you're watching this, Porter, saludo sa'yo, bro. Saludo sa'yo.
Bro, Konate was bouncing off of him. That's how strong this guy is.
Yeah.
So he's capable.
Low center of gravity. Alam mo, even in the fourth, actually, it seemed like Ateneo was going to lose this game. So they also got lucky dun. I think Sean Kiteves made a bunch of plays in the fourth then. So to help keep Ateneo within the game ng fourth quarter.
He should be like that every game. Every minute
gonna
he's
ask
on the
you.
floor, he should be like that.
Any feedback? Anong reaction mo dun sa mga last few minutes ni Sean Kiteves in...
Pinag-usapan namin yan off-air ni Gab. Di ba, Gab?
Oh, dapat every time it gets kicked out to him, he should be aggressive, not just trying to pass it off to someone else. Be aggressive, just attempt to drive it. I don't know. Collapse the defense. If you're open, shoot it. I don't mind it. Shoot it. You made the one earlier.
Yeah.
Shoot
yeah.
it. Yun lang. So, I know medyo Ateneo-centric ang reaction ko to the game. You can't blame me. Atenista ako. Masakit sa puso ko. So, yun ang reaction ko. But I do want to give a shout out to some FEU players. I already said si Mo Konate. Royce Alforque had a bounce back game. I know a lot of FEU fans have been shitting on this guy.
You were hard
Oy!
on Royce Alforque, Gab.
They were only in the game because of Alforque.
Yes.
Alforque's play in the first half.
Scored
Yung first
8 points
quarter pa lang.
in the first
Diba?
quarter.
First few minutes, yeah.
So, shout out to Royce, man. I think he played aggressive, played tough defense on Jared Bahay and on Ian Espinosa, just being that point of attack defender. Salute to him, man. And I know si Jeffrey, our hardcore FEU fan here in the comments, loves to criticize Royce. But I think he will come to love Royce after this game because he made some big plays. Also, I think Sean Chambers or one of the FEU coaching staff members are probably listening to Boleros because Rojan Montemayor got 24 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
We talked about him, yeah.
We talked about him. He needs more
Sila ni
minutes.
Adam Nakay. Adam Nakay is finally getting minutes.
Exactly. Si Rojan Montemayor, before this game, was a 50% shooter from 3. 4 out of 8 for the season. Before this game, he was the best 3-point shooter in FEU. Despite the low volume, he was the best. 4 out of 8. He should be taking more if he can shoot like that, diba?
Grabe yung layup niya. Grabe yung layup niya. I just have to shout out si Montemayor. One of the plays of the game.
Yes, amazing layup. So, those are two guys I think who went unnoticed because si Joric was amazing in overtime, but those two guys really played well for FEU, and I think you will see more Rojan Montemayor minutes. I will be shocked if Rojan Montemayor goes back to being a fringe rotation player. I think he earned minutes after this game.
Yeah, I think nakukuha na rin niya yung minutes ni Bakuno, which I think Montemayor deserves more minutes. Yeah, actually, good call out, Gab. Kasi I was gonna say, I wanted to give a shout out to Sean Quiteves. We've been hard on him the past few games. I think he was good in this game. On the other end, Royce Alforque, you mentioned him already. I also wanna say he was so aggressive. He got 9 fouls from Ateneo. He was able to fish for 9 fouls from Ateneo kasi because of the aggressiveness, driving to the hoop, trying to out-rebound the Ateneo team. Alam mo itong other teams Mau, 'di ba? Parang they know this Ateneo team likes to gang rebound. So they also gang rebound against Ateneo. Sino din ba? There were a couple of like good plays by FEU where they try to tip the ball when battling for the rebound, and I think in the fourth quarter may mga agawan for rebounds and FEU out rebounded Ateneo. So shout out to FEU on that. Moving on, actually, since Gab you mentioned the UST Lasal game, the game before this, maybe we can quickly cover the UST Lasal game. I know tambak in the end, pero Gab, wanted to hear your actions on that game.
Yeah, so before I go there, I do want to defend Coach Sean Chambers a little bit. I know his technical foul kind of spoiled some stuff for FEU, and maybe some FEU fans were disappointed in that. I have to defend him. A lot of coaches enter the court during crunch time in the UAAP. Topex Robinson has done it multiple times and has not been called for technical fouls. It's just that inutaka ni Coach Tabsa, ni Coach Sandy, si Coach Sean, and pointed it out to the refs na he was on the court. Hence the
Desperation time na. Desperation time na kasi kaya napansin nila.
Naisahan si Coach Sean doon.
Yun na isa. But to be fair, it is against the rules for a coach to enter the court. So,
Tsaka isa rookie coach, di ba? Isa rookie coach, he's a foreign coach. Di ba? I think this is the first time he's coaching Filipino team.
Yep. So, cut him some slack. First win. So, let's give him that. So, let's go on to LaSalle versus UST. I actually thought we were up for an upset Sunday again.
Pinaasa tayo, no?
Oh, because UST was up big in the first quarter. I thought they started really well executing the offense and just launching threes and moving the basketball, but LaSalle eventually got into their rhythm. This game turned, I think, in the second half when Motong Kara got his fourth personal foul and really exposed the big weakness in UST. They lack size. Outside of Motong Kara, who's only 6'7", by the way, they don't have a ton of bigs. And in the third quarter, in the fourth, LaSalle just showed its might inside the paint. That was peak LaSalle. Mike Phillips punishing that UST interior defense over and over again. Jello Crisostomo, Christian Manaytay, Eco Laure could not do anything against Mike Phillips and Raven Cortez. And they just pounded away in the inside. And when they started pounding away inside, the outside opened up and they started to hit their threes. Forsky tried his best to keep UST in this game. His first season high, by the way. He's been struggling from the field, much like his now the successor to his Ateneo point guard job is Jared Bahay. Both of them have struggled from the field to start the season, but he was able to hit his shots in this game. Tried his best. Nick Cabanero also tried his best from the outside to keep UST in this game, but the size advantage by LaSalle is just too much. And I would argue this is peak LaSalle. I would say the Ateneo game and this game are when LaSalle are at its best. When not everything is running and through KQ. When not every shot is KQ. Diba?
That's
Ang-
what
ang-
the
ang-
listeners have also said. Ang daming nagko-comment
Yeah, and
about that.
it's pretty obvious naman. When the offense devolves to give it to KQ and let him shoot every time, that's when LaSalle digs itself deeper into holes. That's when LaSalle allows teams to come back in the game. That's when LaSalle allows teams to get into a rhythm. Because they just allow KQ to just shoot them out of the game or shoot them into the game. I don't think that's the way to run your offense. You have a lot of good players surrounding KQ. I have to shout out si Raven Cortez. I think has finally found his groove. KQ is repeatedly looking for this guy.
Ganda na combo nila.
Ang ganda. And this is since last season, KQ has always been looking for Raven Cortez.
Second round, di ba? Second round last season.
Yep. Because Raven Cortez, among all of their three centers, he's the best offensive center they have. I don't think Henry has the same.
Before.
Yep, we've said that before. Shout out to the guy who said that they should bench Raven. I countered saying I don't think they should. He's really their best offensive center. When they need buckets, they could turn to Raven Cortez. Yeah, he's not as athletic as Henry or Mike, but that's that touch in the paint. He can actually stretch the floor if he wants to. He can shoot threes. He can shoot mid-rangers. I really think na si Raven, aside from Mike Phillips, is one of the better partners with KQ. It opens up a lot of the spacing for LaSalle. And he's a great target talaga. Great target. He knows where to be. So
Starter yun in
shout out to them,
other
and
teams. Malamang.
no doubt, man. If he was on another team, he would average a double-double. He would be a star. Diba?
Yep.
Diba? So, shout out also to the other guys on this LaSalle team who played really well. I thought si VJ David played really well. Boris Marasigan, I love how aggressive this guy is. Over and over again, when he gets the ball, he just tries to collapse the defense, tries to get into the paint. He knows his role. He knows he's a big dude and he can muscle everyone in the way. He's just like a Josh Wayero, but with more moves. Something like that. It's a strong, big dude also. And that was it. That was essentially the game for LaSalle. The size disadvantage for UST was just too much to overcome. Although we did, the bright side is we finally got to see extended minutes. We finally got to see extended minutes of Zayn Mahmoud, who actually played not bad. I mean, didn't commit.
Kahit si Kadov. Si Kadov.
Hit a three.
The buddies.
The buddies. The close friends finally got minutes. So, yun. I don't know if we can consider UST yet a contender. Maybe we'll discuss that more after their game on Wednesday. But lots to work on for UST. The size thing really is disturbing because LaSalle just feasted. Maui, Sam.
Maui.
Yeah. I think very reminiscent ka. Tama si ka. Very good comparison yung UST LaSalle game to the LaSalle Ateneo game, diba? If you look at the rebounding advantage, LaSalle had 56 rebounds and UST had 29, diba? LaSalle had 21 offensive rebounds, diba? If you go back in time and look at our episode, if you watch the Ateneo LaSalle game, you'd see that LaSalle had close to 20 offensive rebounds or even more than 20, I think, against Ateneo also. This is when LaSalle really looks dominant, diba? When everyone is contributing, as Cab mentioned. One player I have to shout out is Boris Marasigan because he's starting to ball. I think itong latter part ng first round, he's finally getting his minutes. He's showing why he won MVP in the Pinoy Liga Next Man Cup, I think, nung preseason. This guy is a baller. He knows how to score. I think they have to play him more, similar to Galena and Makalalag. He gives us another scoring option off the dribble. I like that he's very aggressive, very strong, and drives to the basket. But yeah, this is really the game that LaSalle showed its might. Diba? You don't see Mo Tungkara usually having 5 points and 5 rebounds in a game. Diba? This is maybe Mo Tungkara
Good
can look
point.
at this game. Look at this game. Maybe UST has to do a better job of him not getting into foul trouble with their perimeter defense. I don't know. But they have to do a better job. They were exposed. Manaytay also was in foul trouble. They had to play Eco Laure. I think that sums it up, di ba? They had to play Eco Laure
Alam mo
extended
na.
minutes.
O naglaro si
Diba?
Eco Laure.
Alam mo na, and they even had to play Mahmoud early. I think in the second quarter, Mahmoud entered, diba? That's when you know things are going wrong. Also, or in the third quarter. That's when you have to really dig deep, diba, in the bench. It's because of Mike Phillips also. I think si Mike Phillips has been fantastic the past few games, willing LaSalle to win, diba? There's actually a person who asked me, kaya habulin ni Mike Phillips si KQ for MVP, di ba? It could be a two-man race between Mike Phillips and Kevin Kiambao.
Wow.
He's racking up numbers. It's not just the rebounding anymore. He's stealing the ball a lot. I think he also has been getting some assist numbers from those high post motion that Asal is running through him. And he's been scoring a lot of points also. So that's something to watch out for. But yeah, I guess we've been saying this also on the show, diba? We don't know if UST is for real until they face UP and LaSalle, diba? They were 3-1, but they haven't faced the Goliaths of the UAAP yet. So that's gonna be an interesting storyline to look out for during the end of the first round. Will UST be able to hang around to that third spot? I think they're tied right now with UE. UE is another team that we'll probably be talking about a lot tomorrow. But yeah, I think that sums up basically the game. What I liked about this game only maybe for the UST side is that Fortsky started to get going on the offensive end. As si Gab mentioned this in our chat, I think this is Fortsky's first game in double figures for UST. Maybe they can build up on that. What's concerning to me about USC right now is Jero Crisostomo and Mark Lemit haven't been producing a lot. Diba? We've been saying kasi since the start that we know that Cabanero will take his shots. We know that Fortsky will take his shots and score points. Maybe Paranada sometimes. Tongkara will score. But it's about them finding those other guys. Diba? They were successful against Ateneo because of Crisostomo. They were successful in their first two games because of Mark Lemit. That needs to happen again. I think that's one of the main reasons. Also, why Coach Pido had a very big rotation today. He was trying to find that spark plug that has been missing for UST. Sab.
Yeah, good points. You mentioned siguro what's very interesting here is yun nga, UST did very well, but they haven't faced LaSalle and UP, and their next game is actually going to be against UP. They lost
on
against
Wednesday.
They lost against LaSalle today, but they have to move on. Yun naman talaga dapat laging mindset, diba? They have to move on and they have to be ready for UP this coming Wednesday. So mabilis lang yun. Speaking of all the other teams, probably have 1 or 2 games left. And just like that, it's going to be the end of the second round. At the end of the first round and the start of the second round. Ang bilis ng UAAP. And it's getting very interesting because of the games that happened today. We'll talk about the other games that we saw yesterday. We'll talk about them in the next episode. A lot of teams are tied in terms of like the win column. Maui, you mentioned si UST at si UE are tied 3-2. Adamson also has 3 wins but 3 losses, and then like NU, Ateneo, and FU all have 1 win. So very interesting yung standings. I think someone texted me before, right after that Ateneo FEU game. Listener of the show texted me, "Oy, sobrang gulo na nung standings. Ang gulo na from your preseason power rankings." So, I think maybe in the next episode or coming soon, maybe it's time, Maui, that we update our power rankings, diba? And talk about how the teams have performed since the preseason leading up to the end of the first round. So that's it for today's episode. Before we go, please don't forget, comment, like, subscribe sa mga fans ng different teams. Ateneo, ano feelings nyo sa game na yon? FEU fans, Jeffrey, ano pakiramdam na finally you got your first win?
Umalis na ng bansa si Jeffrey. Hindi na naabutan ng first win ng FEU.
Sayang.
Kailangan na pala lumabas na Pilipinas si Sir Jeffrey.
Siya
They'll
pala
finally
yung
win
malas.
again.
Siya pala yung malas na pag nasa Pilipinas siya. But anyway, we'll talk more about the other games. Comment down below on your instant reactions over those 2 games we had this Sunday. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.